as you can see, it is raining really hard right now. We are on Frisco Avenue in Old ARABI near the river, and you can hear the lightning, you can hear the thunder right now, you can see the lightning, and I actually just talked to a resident who told me that she believes she's hearing that a possible tornado ripped through some homes down here.
This is Gretna. Look at this incredible sight as this funnel is just moving. Could you imagine looking out your window and seeing this and the destruction that comes with this when it does touch land, when it comes in from the water and hits land?
Can you just talk about when everything kind of went down and what did you see?
Yeah, so we were watching the news, and we saw it on the news that it was passing. And I mean, this area was hit, of course, 8 months ago. So we were used to it. And so I grabbed my kids, my wife, and told them to go in the bathroom in the hallway. And I mean, just that fast, within a minute, it seems like.
And is this your house right here?
My house is to the left of this one. This one actually flew into my house and like broke all the windows in my house.
With the damaged vehicle right there?
This is my vehicle, yeah.
And so how does it feel that this is happening literally several months after you already dealt with a very, very disastrous tornado? You guys are still recovering from that. How is it as a resident here in ARABI to see this again?
Yeah, it's surreal. It is. You know, it's the same thing we experienced March 24th. So it's just surreal. We're not used to these kind of things, but, you know, this is twice in 8 months. So I guess we have to get used to it now.
We were in the neighborhood just a few minutes ago, and it is significant damage all along Schoolhouse Road where homes are destroyed. There are some trailers that are ripped apart and some homes that are damaged, some roofs that are off, some light poles down. There's debris everywhere. We do understand that there was one death in that neighborhood. Several people there also went to the hospital.
Coming home, I went to pick my daughter up from work, and as I'm turning into Kelowna, we get inside, but it's a lot of lightning. I'm like, what is all this lightning? And then I look to the left, and I can see the darkness coming from, well, I guess we call it the district, coming from back there. We got inside, and like 5 minutes later, all hell broke loose. It just sounded like a bomb went off here.
David Jones has this report.
Hey, reporting out here in Mons. This is about midway between Laplace and Norco, and this is the site where a tornado touched down earlier this afternoon. Now, just to give you an idea of the intensity of this thing, you can see sheet metal just ripped up and thrown into the tree. Power poles are down. We do have Entergy crews on scene here as we speak, working to quickly restore power to this small, tight-knit community. Now, you see this house right here. This is the home of Mary Kenny. Mary was actually doing repairs to this home from Hurricane Ida. She was living in this trailer that you see over here, and she got an alert on her phone. When she got the alert, she ran from the trailer into the house. While she was running, she actually looked up and saw the tornado bearing down on her, coming across the levee. She went into the home, ran and sheltered in the bathroom, in the bathtub, actually, and prayed.
We ran out the trailer and we could see it coming across the levee. As soon as we got in the house, we got in the bathroom, in the tub, and our ears started popping and everything was gone. And everything was falling on us. We just held on to each other and prayed. We just prayed. And it's my son's birthday today. And he has to see this on the news. Oh my God.
We are on St. Bernard Highway by Rowley, and as you can see behind us, this is the old Winn-Dixie. It's now the home of the Christian Fellowship. Debris is piled everywhere. These trucks were actually moved by the tornado as it came through here. The driver's side window is shattered. The woman inside is very, very badly shaken up. If you look out towards St. Bernard Highway, you can see where those high winds knocked these power poles down. There are power lines everywhere here, and deputies are going door to door, car to car to make sure that everybody is okay.
All right, we want to get out to our Andres Fuentes now. He is live in MURROW with a look at the damage there.
Right, we're just a few blocks away from the West Jefferson Medical Center. As you can see, this Winn-Dixie just off the West Bank Expressway, dealing with a lot of damage on the front end. We did see a few of the employees and managers come on out and try to assess things with Jefferson Parish deputies, but as of right now, we don't have any power in this part of the West Bank. But we're also joined with Councilman Scott Walker. Councilman, what can you tell us overall with the West Bank? I know the tornado is now gone, but we're dealing with some wind. We're still dealing with rain. What are we dealing with overall?
Well, it seems like this may have been right where it started, and then across the West Bank Expressway, up a couple of blocks, and for about a mile back toward the Crescent City connection is a long path of damage where there's fences down, there are rooftops blown off, power lines down. It's a really long damaged path that I wasn't expecting when we came across the bridge. But to see kind of the path and how it unfolded tells a story of real damage.
Another area that's seeing extensive damage.
Yeah, that's right, Meg and Lee. We are in ARABI, and right now we are at the corner of Esteban and Aycock, where you can see behind me, this building is destroyed. It is a warehouse building, and it houses the Justice Brew Coffee, but we just want to give you a closer look at the damage. You can see it is destroyed. You can see boxes, you can see planters, you can see everything on the ground, cinder blocks. And this is just one of many areas in the ARABI area that have been hit by a tornado that ripped through this area.
People across the area grabbed their phones as tornadoes moved in this afternoon and this evening.
This video was taken in ARABI as a giant funnel cloud moved across St. Bernard Parish. Meanwhile, sheriff's deputies are going door to door in St. Bernard tonight.
Parish President Guy McGinnis tells us so far they've performed 10 rescues. Luckily, no one was hurt.
It was just shaking. The whole house was shaking. Seeing a lot of lights flashing. I'm assuming it was the transformers. It was really, really scary.
Did it catch you off guard, or were you watching news and kind of tracking the storm?
I wasn't actually. I was watching TV, but I was watching a Christmas movie, and I didn't even know.
What'd you do?
I ran into the hallway, and then I ran into the bathroom, and then I felt the windows start breaking a little bit. So then I ran back into the hallway, and I just stayed right there until it was over.
Officials near Shreveport say a tornado killed a mother and her 8-year-old son as the system moved through Caddo Parish late last night.
Crews found the body of 30-year-old Yoshika Smith under debris near her home. The body of her son, Nicholas Little, was found half a mile away. The National Weather Service says it appears an EF2 tornado hit the area with winds of about 130 miles an hour. A neighbor described the scramble to get to safety.
And all of a sudden, by the time we got hunkered down here, it was gone, the roof was gone. And, they always say that you hear a train coming. Well, this was a big train to come through here.
We also have new video out of Keithville, another heavily hit area of Caddo Parish. Officials say the damage across Caddo is extensive. Deputies are letting residents return to check their property, but they have to show proof of ID.
To the south, a tornado damaged a hospital as it touched down in New Iberia, but Iberia Medical Center remains open. Workers were able to treat 5 people who received minor injuries. The tornadoes hit around 11 this morning and knocked out several of the hospital's windows. Several homes in the area were also damaged. Justin Trahan caught this video of the tornado as it touched down in a subdivision.
The state gets hit by 21 tornadoes in 24 hours. That includes our area. The severe weather took a life in St. Charles Parish and severely damaged homes in Kelowna and Mons.
We just held on to each other and prayed. We just prayed.
Destruction can also be found in areas from the river parishes to St. Bernard. And ARABI is dealing with the second tornado to hit this year. Some of the more significant damage is in St. Bernard, Jefferson, and St. Charles parishes.
Yeah, the storm took the life of a woman in Kelowna in St. Charles Parish. She's been identified as Allison Alexander. We're going to get to that and go through the area. We're going to begin our coverage with Andres Fuentes in Jefferson Parish.
For many on the West Bank, it's a waiting game for sunlight in the aftermath of a tornado. Communities are in darkness right now after the system ripped through homes like these two on Ray Street in MURROW. A 71-year-old woman rode out the winds in her bathroom as the tornado pushed down walls and destroyed her home. Now her family is left helping picking up the pieces.
I just thank God that she's still alive today. This house can be replaced. This is our family house. It really hurts that it's gone, but I just thank God she's okay.
The city of Gretna is under a state of emergency tonight after today's tornado, but fortunately, no deaths have been reported. The tornado tore through areas of Gretna, leaving behind lots of damage. Thousands of people in Jefferson Parish lost power, and Gretna officials say 3 people were taken to the hospital.
Welcome back at 7:45. Residents in ARABI are waking up to damaged homes and businesses from yesterday's tornadoes as they deal with their second tornado this year.
Christy Coleman joins us live with a look at the damage.
That's right, guys. Good morning. Well, a tornado rips through the ARABI community for a second time this year, just completely heartbreaking. And once we've seen some buildings spared, other ones like this one are completely destroyed for a second time, as you can see from the live shot here. We've been out here for about an hour now. We did see someone from Entergy come out and take pictures of this exact building.
Olivia Vidal joins us live from Kelowna.
Kelsey and Rob, truly heartbreaking, devastating sight here in Kelowna in St. Charles Parish. This is one of the first sights we saw when we got onto the scene early this morning. A tree completely uprooted in front of a home that was completely picked up and moved off of its pilings. I'm going to take you in closer just so you can see just how strong this tornado was. In fact, officials of St. Charles Parish say this was probably one of the strongest storm systems they've seen move into the area since Hurricane Ida to do this type of damage. Just take a look. This house just completely picked up and moved off of the foundation, off of the piling, so you can see the hardwood floors that were inside of the front room here at this home exposed.
I was setting the power went out. Oh, wow. So it startled me, and maybe 2 seconds later, you heard the classic clashing of the trains. Yeah. And all of a sudden, my wife walked in. I told her, hit the ground, the tornado's coming through. And 4 seconds later, it was all over.
Well, happening today, residents across southeast Louisiana assessing the damage after multiple tornadoes ripped through the area. Those tornadoes were only a few of at least 21 that hit the state in the last 24 hours.
Liz, shock and disbelief. Those are the words that residents have told me how they're feeling this morning after seeing the devastation from the deadly tornado that ripped through this neighborhood on Schoolhouse Road in Kelowna in St. Charles Parish. I'm going to step out of the way just so you can see the kind of damage we're talking about here. Total widespread damage here on Schoolhouse Road. You can see residents are now picking up the pieces. It's the big cleanup now as they begin that recovery process.
36 years. I've been living back here since 1986. I ain't nothing compared to this.
I was going to say how you're.
I ain't got nothing. This is all brand new. This is all brand new. The roof, the fence, even the fence people called me and asked me. They couldn't believe it. This is all brand new. Inside, it's all brand new. Total brand new. Everything.
Well, that's right, Liz. We're here on Friscoville Street in ARABI. This is the spot where the tornado yesterday came through around 4 this afternoon. I want to show you some of the damage here behind me. This house was destroyed. A young family lived here with a 7-month-old baby. Now, I talked to the mother. She said she was in the living room watching the news when she heard the rumbling. She said her husband told her to run, so she ran and scooped up her baby. They all got into the bathroom of the house as the house crumbled around them. She said they covered the baby, but both her and her husband were cut up with glass, all minor injuries.
Yeah, Liz, since before the sun came up, we've been here on the West Bank taking a look at all of this damage from this storm. And I'll tell you, we were in Gretna pretty much all morning long, actually on 9th Street. We came further this way. Now we're in Harvey, still on 9th Street, actually. And it looks like whatever this storm was or whatever it did, at one point there was a tornado that may have touched down, and it looks like it just took a straight path across a large portion of the West Bank here.
And Liz, that news conference just wrapping up a short while ago. As the tornado hopscotched across the metro area, it left its major mark on a section of Algiers. Residents along a half-mile swath of damage were out assessing the impact in the area near General Meyer and Tita Street. Cars were tossed like trash. Dozens of homes and businesses sustained roof damage. And the tornado totally destroyed St. Mark's Church on Wiltz Lane.
Communities across southeast Louisiana pick up the pieces today, one day after terrifying tornadoes touched down, claiming lives.
This building behind me
blew up. It just blew.
And I immediately noticed the house was collapsed. Yeah. So I ran out like, wow, we need to go see what's going on with this lady because, she could be in there. Yeah. And she was.
On this crisp December day, the sunshine helped show the extent of the damage. So neighbors assist neighbors.
And everyone's out there today looking out for one another, helping each other clean up.
With the destruction stretching from the river parishes to St. Bernard, the long road to recovery begins.
Good afternoon. I'm Meg Gatto.
And I'm Liz Reyes. Thanks for joining us at this hour. The National Weather Service now says its preliminary rating of the tornado that hit Mons in Kelowna was an EF2.
The tornado took the life of a woman in Kelowna and injured 8 others. David Jones is live in St. Charles Parish with more on the aftermath of the outbreak.
Hey, Meg and Liz, residents here in Kelowna have just begun to pick up the pieces of the destruction bit by bit, and the destruction, as you can see behind me, just tremendous. Assessing the damage, and unfortunately, residents here mourning the loss of one of their own to an extremely destructive tornado that ripped through this small community. Governor Edwards was joined today by Parish President Matt Jewell and other state and local officials to hold a press conference on the storms. Governor Edwards flew over this community today to survey the destruction. Officials say all injured St. Charles residents who were taken to hospitals are in stable condition, including one child.
That's right. Well, a lot of tornado victims shaking their heads, saying not again. You can see this is the damage that was left behind. Yesterday's tornado hit at 4:06, according to the parish president, and he said it took almost the exact same path as a tornado that destroyed so many structures in ARABI back in March. The memory of that EF3 tornado back in March is fresh in the minds of many here.
In Algiers, the cleanup is well underway. 20 homes sustained moderate to heavy damage, and demolition of some of those homes could begin in a matter of days. For more than a century, St. Mark's Baptist Church has been a mainstay on Wilts Lane in Algiers, but Wednesday's tornado changed everything.
Today is a sad day. Their church is down to the ground. We need to keep them in our prayers.
The last 4 blocks of Wilts off the levee are in shambles, and Amber Wolf is happy to be alive.
Yeah, as soon as we closed the bathroom door, glass started breaking, and we climbed right in the tub and just held on. And it was pretty scary.
Other portions of Algiers, including the intersection of General Meyer and Tita, also have extensive debris from a storm that injured several Algiers residents.
We had 5 individuals injured as a result of this event. 3 were transported to UMC, and 2 were transported to Oshner West Bank. All are either have been treated and discharged. We have one that was seriously injured, and she is currently still in the hospital, but she is stabilized.
City Hall wants citizens to report their damage in order to access federal help.
And we encourage all residents to report damages to 211 or damage.la.gov. This is a centralized effort.
At one point, nearly 11,000 customers were without power. Now that number is down to under 600 as the recovery continues. But for some, rebuilding will take longer than for others.
The church was 189 years old. We don't understand what God does, but God do what he want to do. And I'm quite sure they will rebuild.
From Algiers, Rob Manson, Fox 8 Local First.
All of the storm reports associated with that. Now, this was for our region where we saw some wind damage and those tornado reports. But as you widen out, this really affected much of the southeast, central Mississippi, all the way back through. We've been hearing about the damage and, unfortunately, the deaths and injuries in northern Louisiana as well. So this has been a very devastating storm system for a lot of people. Getting a little bit more information today. Now, the Weather Service is out, and this is so far what they've come up with to give us that track on the storm that moved through Jefferson, Orleans, and into St. Bernard parishes. And again, it's that epicenter here where these intersect with our previous tornado from March.
Well, cell phone video captured this EF2 tornado as it cut a path through ARABI around this time yesterday. It marked the second time this year that the community must work to rebuild what another tornado destroyed. While it's not as widespread this time, the destruction will present a challenge.
Let's get back out to Natasha Robin, who's got a live look for us at the situation in ARABI.
And that's right. Many victims here in ARABI still in shock. They just can't believe this happened again. I'm going to show you behind me. This is a sample of what the tornado left behind. Yesterday's tornado hit at 4:06, according to the parish president. He said it took almost the exact same path as the tornado that destroyed so many structures in ARABI back in March. And the memory of that EF3 tornado back in March is fresh in the minds of many. So when they heard the rumblings yesterday, it was very scary.